Praise to the Great Spirit. Praise to everybody that I'm back in the forest. Thank you to all of you and for all your prayers. And again, we're just going to try to speak about one thing today, which we always speak about. How can we, all of us, how can we hold on to the big picture of making our world a place of unity and revelation, that there's oneness wherever we go in each of us. And first thing I want to say, that's kind of, I know for most people it's obvious, but some things that you see here you don't see there. And so I get to hang out with a lot of people, and one thing I noticed that yeah, happy Mother's Day, everybody. That's true. Maybe I'll speak about my mother and how she influenced me and a lot of her things, because why I'm here and doing what I do. But everybody, happy Mother's Day. And we are obviously sending out healing to all those who are suffering around the world, and there is a lot of suffering. At the same time, there's a lot of, wherever there's great darkness, there's hidden light in a heavy dose, and there's obviously a lot of light going on. But I just want to tell you that when I was really sick, and I'm clear already for a few days, that's why I'm back out in the forest, I want to let you know that I want to thank, there's so many of you that prayed for me and were just writing me notes to keep me going, sending me so much love to get me back on my feet. I just want to tell you something very obvious that you probably all know, and that is that there was so many people I'm sure I don't know about who were praying and wishing me well that I don't know about. But the ones that really stood out, there's a few people that they really were concerned and writing me and saying, Lazer, you know, I just want you to know the group were so varied, between people who, obviously many different countries, many different religions, people who were on this, all the way on this side of the political spectrum and all the way on this side of the political spectrum. And I know it sounds silly that we still have to say this today, but I want you to know that there were people that were, I mean, serious anti-Trumpers. I know them because they're on my thing and I know who they are, that were just saying so many prayers and would be calling me nonstop. And then I have friends that I know that they are super fanatical pro right-wing things, and you know, and they were also in the same measure, you know, calling out for me, people of different religions, different countries. So all I can say to you is we have to have it clear in our heads. And I know all of you know this, but it just has to be always implanted in our hearts. And that's one lesson I took from this, is that the good people of the world, they're not in one nation, they're not in one country, they're not of one color skin, they're not of one belief system or one political party. And I just hope you all know that, and that we always take that with us and never forget that, because a lot of times the world can spin our heads around thinking the only good people are the ones who think like me, believe like me. Manishma? And so I just want everyone to open your heart to know that we have to just, there's a very deep principle that it says, there's a famous movie where it shows an incident from two people's perspectives, a family incident from two people's perspectives. And what it proves in the movie is it first gives you the perspective of the way one of the people in the family see the whole event going down. And then what do? Halfway through the movie, they give you the total other perspective from the other person, and the other person's perspective, the second one, is actually more of a correct perspective. But what's the problem? Anyone know what happens? Who do you think people listen to the most? Everyone's got some coffee there in Seattle. It's good to hear. Whose perspective do you think in the movie people agreed with the most? Anyone want to take a guess who they agreed with? Hello from all the lands, Nova Scotia. What's up? Yes, Mark, there's two sides to every story, but what's the problem? There's a basic principle that's taught that if you come before the judge, you should not let one person tell their side before the other, because even the best judge, right, Eddie, you're right, the first. Why is that? Because no matter how much we want to be balanced, the thing we get the first, that has the strongest impression. So a judge is not supposed to hear first from one person and then later on call the other one in, because already it's hard for the judge to be balanced. What am I trying to say? All of us are here for one reason, to seek the truth of unity in the world. And we have to always ask ourselves, hold on, is what I'm believing, maybe it's just the first thing I'm told. Maybe I'm just an ISIS soldier in Syria and I'm agreeing to cut people's heads because that's the first thing I was told in life. You see what I'm trying to tell you? Maybe you totally think it's a wacky idea to believe that there's some type of creator to the world because that's where you grew up, somewhere, I don't know where, in California. And they said, you know, the belief in God, that's a crazy thing. You know, there's no God. I'm not judging. I'm just explaining that we all have to break free to get the right perspective. Peter Knight, what's up, brother? We're going to play some music by the Missouri River. So what I want us to say is that the first thing you have to always ask yourself, am I really seeing reality, or am I thinking to what I've been brainwashed to see as my first experience in life? Let's play a little music. Eddie says we all need to open our eyes and hearts. You never know what might help you. That's right. We don't need to be afraid, but we're going to speak a little bit about more. And I'm taking requests. Anybody wants song requests? Anyone who wants to ask questions? But I'm back into the forest, and this is a song I wrote a while back about already realizing that the only way we're going to get to healthy living, healthy truth, is going out to the river, to the lake, to the mountains, to the birds, and getting the right perspective. This is called the Riverside. Going down to the riverside, well, that's where I run. Going down to the riverside, yes, to watch the setting sun. I've got to get out of here before I'm done. I know I've got to save myself, and I know I'm not the only one. Going down to the riverside. Tell me, do you wanna come? 'Cause I know I've got to save myself, and I know I'm not the only one. Do you wanna come? Tell me, do you wanna run? Do you wanna come? Oh, yeah. Do you wanna run? Yes, I'm here waiting for you to come. Yes, I'm here waiting for you to run. Do you wanna? Well, tell me, do you want to? Tell me, do you wanna come? Yeah. Tell me, do you wanna run? Tell me, do you wanna? Tell me, do you want to? Yeah, come. Tell me, do you wanna go? Yeah. Going down to the riverside. Tell me, do you wanna come? 'Cause I know I've got to save myself, and I know I'm not the only one. Do you want to come? Hey Ben, who wants to come? Who wants to run? Who wants to get out of the rat race? Is anyone ready to get out of the rat race? What is true freedom of the soul in this world? You can have no true freedom in this world. First, let me ask you, do you hear and see everybody? All right, I'm just checking. Does everybody want to be free in the world, out of the rat race, into real, seeing what is really reality? There's no possible way to do that if you don't have an hour to yourself during the day. If you don't have an hour, now you can break it up however you want. If you don't have time to really think and meditate and pray and learn and put yourself in higher perspective before you start running around, there's no way you'll be able to get in tune with yourself to actually see reality, to see what's going on. So the first step before we can fix anything is we have to know what is keeping us back from true freedom of understanding that there are a few truths that we can grasp, and there are few truths that we can only continue to search for. But King David says something very beautiful that I was reading today. He says, let all my praise and strength be with the one Spirit, the one Creator, and may they rejoice all the humble. May the humble rejoice in that idea, that my whole living, my whole existence is to know, not only to know the oneness, but how to live in a zone of oneness, understanding that I am one, that my body, soul, and mind need to be one, but I am also one with all the human race, with all of creation, with all that was and all that will be. And I have to know that that is the big picture of what I'm doing, whatever little things I might be doing. I have to know how to fit that in, to fit into the puzzle. And the only way to really feel that is you have to humble yourself. A lot of times there's just a lack of humility when we're trying to feel that there is an actual creator and that there is actual divine providence, that even though I have free choice, I'm being guided all the time. I want to tell you a small story. One of the greatest sages who wrote the Kabbalah, mostly responsible for writing the holy mysticism that came from the land of Israel about, it's been around forever, but the revelation of it into book form, into ideas, it's related to the coronavirus, because this sage, his name was Shimon, the son of Yochai, and he was an out-of-the-box figure. He wasn't in the mainstream. He had a connection with the mainstream, but he was out of the mainstream. Now, you have to know something. A great truth of the world is that all of the redeemers were never from the mainstream. They were never in the main church. They were never the people in the main synagogue. They were never the main people in the White House, in the establishment. Moses, Abraham came from the outside. His parents were idol worshippers. He came from outside of the land of Israel. And God says, what I told you, you cannot trust that first thing you're told. Even if it is the right thing, you have to get out of it, because man's filter is mixed with it. So he tells Abraham, get out of there. Go out of your house, out of your father's place. You don't give your dad the finger and your mom the finger. That's not what he's saying. He's saying, okay, you got to go figure it out for yourself if you want the real truth. And he was an outsider. Moses he didn't grow up with the Israelites. Moses grew up way out of the box. He was the ultimate hippie. He grew up in Pharaoh's house in Egypt. That's where he grew up. And then he got kicked out of Egypt. And where did he grow up? He grew up with why did he see God in the burning bush? Because he grew up with the biggest hippie of the world. Who was the first hippie? Yitro. His name was Yitro. He's the father of the Druze in Israel. Some of the best citizens and soldiers and people that really can show a great example of how to have different beliefs but yet get together and respect and appreciate other people are the Druze community in Israel. They are Arabs, but they're not Muslim. They have their own Druze, and they come from Yitro. Now, Yitro, he was the biggest hippie of all. And when the 10 Commandments are given in the Bible, do you know under whose name they're given? They're given under Yitro's name. So Moses, when he left being in Pharaoh's house, where does he go? He goes to Yitro. Now, what was Yitro? They say Yitro was looking for all the spirituality of the world. He knew every spirituality there was. Let's say today we have, Jesus, the Buddha, all the yogis. We have, Muhammad. We have whatever, Timothy Lear. We have the Grateful Dead. Whoever you want to say is your power source for spirituality. He knew all of them, but he didn't know about the one God. But what he did was he was a searcher. So Moses married his daughter. Now, when you marry a woman ties you into that spirituality. You're influenced by the woman's spirituality. Don't think you won't be. You are. You are influenced. So whoever the woman is, and same thing, the man also has a heavy influence on the wife. So Moses was searching, but he was searching. He wanted to say, he was searching. He had this other connection. And so that's when he sees the revelation of the burning bush. Now, all the other redeemers are the similar way. Jesus, he wasn't in the box. Jesus was outside the establishment. And so on down the road. The Jewish people later were revived by this Shimon, the son of Yochai, in the times about 70 years after Jesus was killed by the Romans. There were a lot of rabbis that were killed. And one of the holy rabbis was his rabbi, Rabbi Akiva. And he was forced, I won't get into the whole story, he was forced to live in a cave with his son with nothing for 13 years. Does this ring a bell, the Corona thing? And from being in this cave, hiding from the Romans, hey everybody, we're going to play some music soon. That's where he was able to bring down these secrets of the Kabbalah, this mystical teaching, which is really just understanding that right now all of the truth of what was, will be, is with us right now. If I search my heart, my soul truthfully, to know how am I connected to the one, and what is my role in the world, that I should do things not for myself but for the infinite purpose of feeling the infinite connection with all of humanity and with all of creation every second with every breath. I want to give you a blessing with a song. Let's play a Bob Dylan song. See if I can remember this one. Let's see who knows what the song is. Anyone have an idea what the song is? It's one of my favorite Dylan songs. May God bless you and keep you always. May your wishes all come true. May you always do for others, and let others do for you. May you build a ladder to the stars. May you climb each and every rung, and may you stay. May you stay forever young. May you grow up to be righteous. May you grow up to be true. May you always know the truth. See the light surrounding you. May you grow up to be courageous, stand upright and be strong, and may you stay forever young. Forever young. Forever young. don't remember the last verse. Someone give me the first words of the last verse. Oh yeah, I remember. May your hands always move quickly. May your feet always be swift. May you build a strong foundation when the winds of change shift. May our heart always be joyful. May your song always be sung. And may you stay forever young. Forever young. Forever young. May you stay. May you stay forever young. I forgot it a little bit. Anyone know the secret of youth? You gotta stay young. We know the biggest sin, you know what the biggest sin is? Getting old. Getting old in our beliefs. Whatever we were yesterday, today we have to be something new. It doesn't mean we have to forget and completely change. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about adding a higher perspective and learning something new, realizing something I have to fix. This world is a world of fixing. If you're alive in this world today, that means we have something to fix. Oh, wow. Townes Van Zandt, great songwriter. I never could really connect to any of those songs that I really wanted to sing. I don't know why exactly. And I was very close to the producer that produced him, produced half of the new album that's coming up. Yeah, getting old in our hearts and minds. You know, one of my spiritual leaders who used to always make concerts, he used to tell people, okay, I want all the young people to come up to the front. So everyone's looking around the room. How do they know? Dan, how do we know who's young? What age is young? Anyone want to take a crack at it? What age is young? Anyone want to give an idea? What age is young? So he had an interesting answer. He said, anyone who still believes that they can change the world, come up to the front. Okay, someone says, I like different opinions. This is false doctrine you are adding to the Bible, Revelations. I will pray for your salvation. I'm trying to figure out what doctrine was the false. You have to be more specific, Gregory Yosef. Now, no one be mad at anyone who gets on and says, Lazer, you are totally nuts. I can't stand what you're saying. Because that is the whole goal of what Lazer Lloyd in the music and in the teaching is. We are not preaching anybody's agenda here. I am preaching straight from God what is the ailment of our generation. And the ailment of our generation is small-mindedness and a lack of respect for people and beliefs beyond what we first got taught, without realizing that there's a lot of other truths that could actually add to our lives and help us reveal oneness in the world. So there is no Muslim, no Christian, no Jew, no Buddhist, no atheist that is going to ever agree with everything that's taught here, because I study all those things and I'm trying to give you concepts to have you become one. Because I'm seeing extreme conflict in the world. That's the reason for the virus. That's the reason for wars. That's the reason for political hatred. That's the reason for divorces. That's the reason for addiction. It all comes from people wanting to have everything be black and white, quick fix. I want my knowledge black and white, everything I see in the Bible. Let me just tell you, my friend, that if you think that what is you know what is in Revelation, I'll tell you, you have no idea what's in Revelation, because I'll give you 4 different translations that the Christian community over the years supported that translation of the book, and I can show you different verses where if you were to build a city built on that translation of Revelations and another city built on the translation from this translation, you would have 2 completely different things. Now, is that a bad way? Someone wants lost on the highway. I hear that, Mickey. We are so lost on the highway, and that's the only way we can grow, is when we are humble enough to say, I don't know. And I'm Lazer Lloyd. I'm the first one to say, I don't know. I'm saying there are a lot of great people in the world. There's a lot of smart people. There's a lot of holy people. They are not of the same race, not of the same religion, not of the same color, not of the same nationality. And all of them have some falsehood that they have received from man's filter, which has politicized and institutionalized God in a bad way. Let's see. Let's see what Gregory says here. You are candy coating salvation. It's not about being one. It's about Jesus Christ and Him alone, not about yourself. Well, you know, I respect people that believe that, but you know what we really need today, people? My Muslim, you know, today is Ramadan. This is the season of Ramadan. So Gregory, what I want to tell you is I want to ask you, Gregory, why didn't you take on yourself the Prophet Muhammad? I want to say Ramadan Baruch to the millions and millions of Muslims around the world, a blessed Ramadan. And I want to ask my Christian friends who were Christian believers, why did they not take on the Prophet Muhammad? If you open up the Quran, all they're speaking about is giving glory to Allah. Allah is God, the one God, with no separation. And my Muslim friends ask me, they say, Lazer, are you really Muslim? I said, I don't have any tag to what I am. I'm just Lazer. Manishma. Got some people touring around here. So they said, Lazer, do you bow down to Allah? I said, no, I don't bow down to Allah. That's not my, they said, you don't dream in Ramadan that the whole world's going to bow down to Allah? I said, no. Gregor, I hope you're listening. I'm trying to give you an answer to what you're asking. And I really appreciate people here who give different opinions. He says, well, what are you looking for in Ramadan? I said, I'm looking for everyone to be bowing down to everybody else. Because what's lacking in the world today is not belief in God. What's lacking today is not belief in Scripture. What's lacking today is belief in ourselves. And when you don't believe in yourself, you can't love your fellow human and believe in them. And so I said, what I'm praying for on this Ramadan, what I'm praying for every day of the year, is that we should start loving ourselves, knowing how much the Creator loves us and how much human potential we have to be so great and so holy and so awake, at the same time so monstrous. And that is the exact same thing with every other human. And I am waiting for all of us to believe in each other. That's what's needed in this generation. It's not that we don't need stronger belief in God. We don't need stronger belief in the holy books. We need stronger belief that we are all one from and children of the same Creator. And so that's what I'm trying to tell and teach. And I could tell you many teachings from different the different books of the holy books, where they're all saying the same things in different expressions. This is what I'm trying to say, Gregory, and I'd be happy of other people's opinions that you can do your thing. I'm not trying to ever tell anyone to change your thing. I'm not telling you you don't have to be a this and that. I'm just saying today what's really needed is for us to add things. Okay, Larry says, I am lost today, brother. This journey is like a roller coaster for me, and you always bring light to my darkness. Thank you. And let me see if I can open this. Well, you guys bring lightness to me. Gregory brought lightness to me, that I'm so proud of him that on this page where people have so many different beliefs, he says, light to my darkness. I thank you for that, brother. So what I would say is, I never tell anyone that they have to change what they do. You don't have to change the name of what you are. It's how we're doing it. You know, I mean, I meet people, trust me, of the three major religions of all different types, where you get the most kindest, most respectful, totally religious people, and then you get the people who have caused the conflict throughout the world, and they're not the only ones, that they are also very religious, but they have no patience to have a conversation. And what happens is, if you can't listen to someone else, chances are you can't love them, you can't respect them, and you do not believe they are a child of the one God. So I am so proud that Gregory, even though I don't believe the same things that he believed, I'm proud that he was willing to give his opinion here, and I respect everyone else that you should give your opinion. Anyone want to ask a question, say anything today? Anyone want to say what the world needs to be fixed, what we need to, how do we can fix our souls? Yeah, you know, John, I never take for granted one note or song of the birds. I'm watching the birds as I'm seeing you guys. Yeah, the first trip I took on my birthday last week, when we got out, we saw a big snake when we were trying to cross the forest. I think I told you guys. One of my daughters tore out of there. I said, where are you running to? Maybe you're going to run into another snake. I said, don't worry, the snakes, they don't run after you. So many things we wanted to talk about today. Oh, so I want to give you over the story from the Holy Land of this Shimon, the son of Yochai, and I told you all the Redeemers, they're always people that are out of the box. They don't come from the establishment. So he got his secrets where? He wasn't in society. He wasn't in class. He was in this cave for 13 years. Let's see. Owen says, don't sweat it too much. These ideas you have, they will all change and you will become someone else, essentially. Yes, he is absolutely right, because what? The only thing we could be sure of is all of us at this moment and the whole world are changing. We are all transient, and there's nothing to be fearful. That's one of the only main truths you can really know in the world, is that we are all changing constantly. And I for sure hope Lazer Lloyd's going to change constantly. Let's see what my brother Dan says. My brother Dan says, and I'll get back to the story. I know I jump around because, I want to keep everybody engaged, and a lot of people have such, if I say anything smart, it's something I learned from one of you guys. Why doesn't this see more button? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't let me. That really frustrates, but that's okay. If only those of us who called ourselves Christian would only truly live and treat others as Christianity calls us to do. I always tell my Christian friends, yeah, that would be sweet, but how about even treating Christians that way? I speak to my friends who are Baptists or Catholics, and they have some words to say about each other. I always tell people, I say, I don't tell other people what they need to fix. I first start with myself, what Lazer has to fix, what my family has to fix, the things that I believe in. No place that you believe in. A beautiful Buddha teaching is they say, don't make the Buddha, put the Buddha or your teacher on a big pedestal, making him holier than thou. because you're setting yourself up for disappointment. They're just people like you and me. Even the righteous people make mistakes. Moses made mistakes, King David, Solomon. So don't put, I don't know if you can even learn anything I'm teaching you. I really don't. I don't want to tell anyone for sure that anything I'm saying here is good. I'm just happy that we're sitting together. But I don't know if one word that I told anybody here is ever good. I'm telling you the truth. I don't want to lie to you. Discernment is needed. Okay, yes, yes. You know what I would say? What I'm telling you is things that are out of the box. So this Simon, the son of Yochai, the originator of the Kabbalah, was in this cave for 13 years of the sun, and he came down with these deep secrets because the world and its influences could not affect him. And when we take the time to sit in the forest, to sit quietly, to let our souls speak, not let our minds ramble about how it was programmed and brainwashed by everything. Now, I'm telling you, all of you were brainwashed. You were all brainwashed. Jonathan, you were so brainwashed. Also, Lazer Lloyd was brainwashed. Now, not everything they washed our brains with was bad, but for sure, not all of it was good. The question is if we want to really brainwash ourselves and our souls, that every thought which leads to every word that's spoken, which leads to action, if we want that to be all connected with the truth of seeing the reality of what is really happening, that I should do nothing to harm myself and harm other people. Jonathan, why what? What are you asking? You're asking why were you lied to? Because no matter where you grew up, no place has all the truth. All the places have pieces of the truth, but none of the places have all the truth. And man's filter, which is never 100%, has influenced all the trails on the path. So what do you have to do if you want to get the truth? You were brainwashed. I was brainwashed because, I don't know when you tuned in, there's a movie I was telling you about. It says in the Bible, the judge should never listen to one person. If there's two people having a court case, he shouldn't listen to one and then listen to the other, because automatically he's going to be influenced by what he hears first. Johnny, I'm talking about how we're going to put the world together, how we're going to love each other with different beliefs, how we're not going to realize the insane situation that America has gotten itself into with the political conflict, how we're not going to see the insane situation we've gotten ourselves into between the West and the Muslim countries. How we're not going to see the insanity of where we've gotten ourselves, where we're killing the planet with our addiction to buying things and thinking that our pleasures are going to come from external happiness. The world can't survive. We've all been put into a cave. That's what the virus is, to shake us and awake us, say, stop buying. Stop making so much money and forcing other people to keep buying the useless things that you're selling, so that someone has to cut down more trees, drain more rivers, plow down more mountains. The world can't survive that. We have to stop and turn around. The world can't survive the way we're teaching about God, that this is the only way to heaven. That doesn't work. There is many ways to heaven. There's many ways to be a Christian. There's many ways to be a Jew, a Muslim. There's Sufis and you have ISIS, and they're night and day. There's many ways to be an American. The original Americans, what do you think? Were they super religious or were they super open-minded? Who wants to raise their hand in class? Who wants to be a real American? Who wants to be it? Who wants to say? Were the original Americans super open-minded liberals, these new women, or were they super religious? Who wants to give some American history? Maybe Asher wants to say. Who knows what the real American is? Is he super religious, Or is he super liberty and justice for all? Letting, you know what I'm saying? Who wants to say? No one wants to say? Don't be afraid of making a mistake. We all make mistakes. You know, my favorite fighter from the UFC, Justin Gaethje, he won last night. And I get inspired by sports heroes from what they say. And he fought an unbelievable fight. But what was incredible was how much he changed from his last fight. And you know what he said? Let's see. He said, Daniel says, America was founded on liberty or classic liberalism. Who wants to say if Daniel's right? Eric says open minds. So what did he say, Gaethje, when he won? They said, how did you do it? You totally changed your fighting style. He used to just go in there and use up all his energy if he could knock the guy out. But if he didn't knock the guy out, he would lose because he would be out of energy. So what he said was, I had to lose before I fixed myself. And this virus in the world, we have all lost. Scientists, doctors, the religious establishment, politicians, we have all lost because we are all lost, and we have to be humbled by the fact that no one knows. And that's the only way we're going to fix ourselves. Okay, so Peter says they were believers in God but wanted freedom. Now, Peter, do you know the difference between the establishment of Americans where I grew up in New England, which was New England? You know, we say people who came off the Mayflower, and what was going on in Virginia. Now, there was two different groups, if you know the history of going in England. Do you know that some people came to America because of Protestant England became too liberal of a way of serving God, and they wanted to be these people that are like branches of the Amish. They wanted to be super God people, super crazy religious fanatics. And the other side wanted to be this liberty and justice for all, the Benjamin Franklin's open-minded thinkers who believed in a God in a certain way, not in the Bible certain way, but they wanted open. And so America, you know what it is? It's not the super God people, and it's not the super liberal people. Would you people stop trying to make that what America is? It's not. It's a combination of those people who got together. And that's the way it always has been in the world. It's always been a left and right. God, why did God make the sun and the moon? Why does he make life and death? It's always a paradox. I'm trying to get you people out, stuck in your boxes. You're stuck in the box. And the redemption never comes from the box. I'm trying to explain to you, Moses grew up out of the establishment, in Paro's home, in Yitro's home. And God spoke directly to him. We received it directly from Moses, no filter. Jesus was out of the box. Shimon, the son of Yochai, was in this cave for 13 years. Listen to this. Ben, I want to just tell you, the U.S. government is not so damn corrupt. Man, when he is faced with power and money, is challenged. It's not America, it's everywhere. Everywhere we're going to have money, power, and humans, you're going to have things that aren't right. And that was in the temple, that was in the church, it's in the mosque, it's in the CIA, it's in the FBI, it's in IBM. It's everywhere. But we cannot get ourselves down with the imperfections of the world. We have to see, Ben, I only need to worry about Lazer's imperfections today. And my imperfection today is that I am speaking too much when a lot of people want to hear music. My box, Daniel says, is liberty, live and let live. Yes. Now, no one can say that is the real American way, because I'm telling you, if you read early New England history, they had people in shackles in New England. The people came off the Mayflower. If you were doing something that they thought was not in their God way in those states, you were in shackles. That's not the way it was, people. Go learn your American history. I'll have to watch later. Lots to think about. That's all I want. Have an awesome day, Jonathan. That's all I'm asking people, is there's a lot to think about. So let's just be humble. I started out by saying King David says, pray, God is everything I need, and the humble will rejoice in that. You know who else he says in a few lines down? Dorshei Hashem. He said, my joy and strength come from God because I am seeking. You don't find God. You have to seek. The truth we don't find. We have to search. So we have to open our minds. We have to be not afraid to get lost with each other, loving each other. That's right. America had slavery. The church was involved with slavery. We had terrible injustice done to the Indians. In South Dakota today, the South Dakota government is pressuring the Indian reservations who are making traffic jams because they're being very careful, because in American Indian history they had a lot of epidemics that spread that the Indians don't have still into this day. They don't have a lot of the things to protect that the white men have. So in South Dakota, the government's trying to pressure the reservations, because some of the highways go through the reservations, to not stop people. But they're being careful because a lot of the people on the reservations are getting sick and they want to be careful. You have to go and look at American Indian history. Go learn it. It's very important, and the wisdom of the American Indians is very important. I'm going to give one teaching from them that I love. I don't remember if it was a Hopi chief that he said, this is, everyone try to look at these two things today. He said, if you get angry, you lose a friend. If you lie, you lose yourself. So I'm blessing us all here not to lose friends by getting angry. We have to control our anger. We have to let people say, Lazer, you're totally out of your mind. You know what? We're talking about saying I know something about the infinite. Of course I'm out of my mind. I totally agree with you. Native Americans, not Indians. Okay, sorry about that. You know, it's like a political word if you're supposed to say black or African American. I don't say it kiddingly. I'm not really sure what people use because people have changed. So I don't want to offend anybody. Native Americans, for sure, I agree with that term. So if you tell me Lazer, I'm not going to get offended and says, Lazer, you are off your rocker. Everything you said is so far off. I'll say, sure, me and everybody else that ever said anything, because we're trying to figure out God, which is the infinite one. So even someone who thinks he knows, what do we know? What do we know, people? I only know one thing. I want to leave you with this song from the bottom of my heart, from the Holy Land. Oh, I didn't finish the story. So after 13 years in the cave, he comes out, this holy man of the Kabbalah, and he sees a hunter hunting birds with his bird trap there. He sees he's hunting bird. He's got a bird trap with some food, and he sees this bird coming close to going in the trap. And he hears a voice from heaven. A voice from heaven says, mercy, run away, bird. And all of a sudden, he sees the bird run away, doesn't go in the trap. He sees another bird come, and he hears a voice from heaven. There's a true story 1900 years ago in the Holy Land of Israel. And this is the major principle of what Kabbalah is and the mystical teaching is. He sees another bird comes close to the trap. He hears a voice from heaven. It says, justice, go in. The bird goes into the trap and gets killed. Shimon, the son of Yochai, tomorrow is the day that is celebrated. It's a holy day of when he went, that his body freed his soul. He said, if it's declared in heaven which bird goes into the trap and which bird doesn't, how much so is it for each one of us to know that there is nothing by chance? Every single thing that is done in this world, every person that's done, is not by chance, is done by divine providence. We have free choice to choose to do good, and the Creator has free choice to either let our actions come to fruition or to stop them and change them. So there is no fear in this world from anyone, anything. All you have to fear is that you are going to decide to give your whole heart, your whole mind, your whole soul back to your Creator by making the right choices of being free today from bad food, unhealthy people, unhealthy decisions, all the things that are external from us that are not going to make us happy. But all the inside power we have to make us happy. There is nothing by chance. So if we're here together today, it means by 100% there's something that I have to learn from each one of you. And I thank you and bless you for being here today. And if you ask me if there's one thing that I'm willing to fight about, it's that there's no giving up, ever. There is no giving up, ever. This is the last song, Never Give Up. Have a great Sunday, happy Mother's Day, praying for all the people that are affected by the virus, which is the whole world. May the physical, spiritual viruses be eliminated by you and I, each of us in our own hearts, letting go of all hatred, letting go of all fears, letting go of all the idols that we think other things are going to help us in the world, except for being holy people. Holy people are people who are open-minded, searching, loving, asking questions, being humble. And may all of the world be blessed right at this very moment with complete redemption, that it should be clear in our hearts and our minds that the world is one, that the world is a place of light and love, and we are blessed to deal with the darkness, and we should love the darkness. There is nothing to fear. The darkness is what is pushing us all higher, but the darkness is just the reflection. It's the moon reflecting the sun so it doesn't burn us. It's giving us a chance to think. In the night when the moon is reflecting the light, it's giving us a chance to search. When the sun is out, there's nothing to search for. You see it all. So now that the world is in darkness, we're given such an opportunity for each of us to search for great light. Love you all. I'm going to listen to all your comments, learn from all of you. Just for my friend Ben and for everybody there. It's the only reason that I'm up on this stage. I never gave up. It's the only reason I think the whole world was made to never give up. If I got one thing, yeah, deep down in my bones, never give up. Oh no, now, never give up. There's too many people in this world, they never tried, yes they gave up. The fear of failure went heavy on their minds, yes they gave up. But there ain't no success in this world till you fail a few thousand times, but never give up. Oh no, now, never give up. And if you ask me, now Lloyd, aren't you afraid? There ain't nobody more scared than me these days. Well, if you ask me how I'm standing on the stage, only when you know it's all in the Lord's hands, that's the only way, that you never give up. No, never give up. Never give up. Oh no, now. Never give up. Well, you say you're no good, 'cause all of those mistakes you made, we all messed up. I'll give you a list of all the greatest people, and yes, from where they came, they all messed up. Well, I know your struggles, and trust me, people, I can feel your pain, but never give up. No, 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 never give up. And if you ask me, now, Lloyd, what you got to say? You know there ain't nothing anymore in this crazy world that I know today. But there is one thing, and from this I believe I've been saved. Only when you know it's all in the Lord's hands, that's the only way, that you never give up. You know, friends, if tears could speak, they'd tell you 1,000 times, never give up. I met so many beautiful people that were just this close from losing it all, driving off that cliff, pulling the trigger, taking one more shot of that whiskey, one more shot of that heroin, one more time putting on what they shouldn't be putting on. And something broke and they let it loose and they understood. I gotta ask the only one that can help me, my spiritual higher power. And when we cry out, today we have to all cry out. And cry out doesn't always mean actually physical crying or yelling, but it could. It could mean you have to just scream under your blankets. It means you might have to go out to the forest. Sometimes I just scream out in the forest. And I've been in situations where there was no way out. There was no way out. Not in the practical world. And the one creator, the one light that is shining, that is guiding within each one of us and in everything, surrounding all things, is there if we want to be helped. But we have to do our part. We have to give it maximum fight, maximum effort to find the right friends, find the right teachers, find the right books. I just ask you today, try to take some time to just give some simple words of prayer. Try to target in what is giving you the fear, what is giving you the lack of belief in yourself. And say, God, let me be directed. And all of you, I should bless you with the last thing is I want to just say, my mother, when I was growing up, my house was filled with people of all different faiths, colors, and religion. Everyone was given equal respect, and it had such a big impression on me. Even if she had help from someone coming to clean, if the cleaning lady would bring their child along, my mother would say, come out of your room, come play with your friend Brian. She wouldn't say, come play with the cleaning lady's son. She'd say, come immediately, come play with your friend Brian. And then the next week later, the cleaning lady would be over for dinner. It wasn't the cleaning lady, this is your Aunt Joanne. She became part of the family, you see? Because everyone we're in touch with, that's for a reason. We're all one family. And we are all, thank you for being part of my family. I hope, like my mom, you all make everyone a part of your family. We're all one family. That's the highest you can get. So I'm loving you all. Keep smiling. Never give up. It's all going to be good. Think good. It's going to be good. I'm always here. You can write me. I want to thank you all for sharing this right now, sharing the broadcast. And there's these yellow stars. You know, I praise to the Lord that He has helped me pay my bills so many years doing music and just being able to have time to help with this grand plan of having all of mankind get together, save the planet, save each other. But thank you all for all your financial help. The record company says if you can want to hit the stars button, there's a stars button here that helps keep making this available. Thank you for buying the music at the website, lazerlloyd.com, for sharing this. And thank you for being partners together. And I'm blessing everybody with a beautiful weekend, a beautiful day. And let's just want to see the birds. Finally, look at this. I love these kind of birds. They say they're from India. You see these birds? They're like minor birds. They have great songs. They have little white wings and the beads. Here's the families. Let me just end by letting you see and just listen to the beautiful wind of the Holy Land. There's a lot of power in the land here, and we have to pray for peace.